To 512, the Dayton Metro Library is in the middle of a $187 million renovation plan. Joining us now to talk about it live and how that money is being spent, Tim Cambridge, the Executive Director of Dayton Metro Library. First of all, what a great thing you guys are doing, and man, you've got your hands full with all the renovations.
I really do, but I couldn't be doing anything more fun right now. We're really doing a lot of work trying to understand what our patrons want for the next libraries and how we can go about delivering it.
You've got roughly 16, 17 different locations, right?
We will have 17 projects. Some new buildings, some renovations and expansions, but 17 projects that we're working on.
Tim, let's dive into it. What's changing with these renovations?
Well, one of the things that people see about them is they're going to be larger buildings, but it's much more than that. It's us being able to turn these buildings into places where people don't just come to pick up materials. While they'll still be doing that, what they really want to be having is libraries as places to communicate, to gather, to create content. These are different kinds of uses of libraries than people have been used to.
We're seeing some construction being done now. Where are we with that process?
Well, downtown we are doing a lot of work because we have bought the old Howard Music Building, and we're going to be using that for back office operations. That's going to allow us to use the main library's entire footprint and an expanded version of that footprint in order to provide a lot more space, almost 5 times more space for the public in the new library that we have downtown compared to what we have currently.
Let's talk about the next renovation that you had, the one that you've already seen a lot of success on, the Doran library that already opened up in January. We revamped that one, if you will. A lot of changes happened there as well.
Right. It's a small branch, so we didn't have a lot to do. It's a historic renovation, so some of the aspirations that we have for these buildings really hasn't been able to materialize in that branch, but I've heard people call it magical now because of the kind of the design, the way in which the materials flow into the building and how people use them. I had one young child tell her grandfather just about how wonderful it was, and I got to overhear that. Just wonderful news about that.
Oh, well, you know, Dayton's so rich in history, so of course the magical, if you will, of it is captured right there in that building. It's amazing stuff. I want to talk to you, too, about the Miami Township branch as well, because we're seeing some renovations there, too.
Right. There's actually steel going up at the Miami Township branch. That's actually the newest branch that we built, but we've seen so much growth in that part of southern Montgomery County that we're actually doubling the size of that branch, and it's under reconstruction and expansion right now. We hope to operate or open that in August.
Oh my goodness! So we're really looking at some final dates here coming up.
Oh yes, we've got a new branch in Northwest Dayton. It's going to be a 30,000 square foot branch, the largest branch that we've ever built. That's going to open at the end of the year.
Before we go, real quick, someone says to you, $187 million went into all these renovations. How would you explain where we are with those renovations today?
In terms of the expenditures, or
just in terms of what is the community going to get from it?
Oh, well, they're going to get spaces for them to enjoy. We have kids that we bring in all the time for programs and events to help them be successful at schools. The kind of computer access that adults and teens and youth use for doing resumes, for doing homework assignments. Those are the things that libraries are really well designed for, and that's where we want to expand them to be able to do more.
And enhance children's areas, I hear, coming too. So much happening over there. Tim, thanks so much for sharing all the details on this. Remember, you guys ahead, if you do want to head outdoors, or you want to stay indoors rather, because it's going to be pretty cold outside. Is that right, Brian?